Hey guys, another video, another reading. Today, we look at what the stars have to say about Diddy's recent past, present, and future, especially concerning potential imprisonment. You are probably aware of the ongoing allegations of misconduct from Diddy, mostly abuse towards his ex Cassie, who he recently settled with out of court, other salacious things towards men and women, at worst, accusations of murder years ago. Many are calling for the powerful mogul, powerful for now, to be seriously tried, convicted, and locked away. If Diddy was going to have life-altering imprisonment, it would surely be shown in his natal chart. Regrettably, we do not have his birth time to reliably look at this natal chart though for an answer. So if you see other astrologers reading his natal chart, please know that they're capping a bit and they cannot tell you any extreme detail without his birth time. They're just going to be able to give general answers about the planets and their energy. That's it. However, another type of chart, a horary chart, will give us great insight. These are charts made about a question, person, thought on mind, and in my experience are very accurate. They will also substitute for people who do not have a birth time, such as Diddy. First, we'll focus on Diddy's energy. As a note, Diddy's sun sign is Scorpio, but we're not looking at a natal chart here. Leo is relevantly rising, a sign related to the entertainment industry. It likely also speaks of the great attention on him as of late, the great publicity. Because Leo's rising, the sun will represent Diddy's energy in this chart I've made. The sun is in Capricorn, expressing Diddy's energy as a cold and calculating businessman, with a reputation for giving recording artists deals with, in a Saturnine style, limited and oppressive contracts. This is especially true as his planet is in the house associated with making money from creative efforts, the 6th house. This is his style and has been for a long time. For a recent example, in an explosive interview with the YouTuber No Jumper, singer and personality Aubrey O'Day claimed that her and other members of his group Danity Kane were offered long sought after publishing rights to their music, a fortune for artists, in exchange for signing an NDA where they could not speak badly against him or other bad boy associated entities. A clever and leveraging power play in the likes of his natal Scorpio sun. Pluto near the sun in this chart today also speaks of this calculated cutthroat energy in business. Diddy stated,
"We live in a time where things are constantly evolving, and it was about reform for me. It was me looking at ways I could reform things as a person that's been asking for change. It was just the right and obvious thing to do, something I'm proud I did. As a businessman, there comes a time when you have to pick purpose over profit. I'm glad that I've seen both sides. As a businessman, I've evolved and was blessed to be in a position to give the publishing back."
However, Vibe reports former bad boy artist Mark Curry, who has gone as far to say in an interview with Art of Dialogue, "If I die, look at Diddy," had this to say.
Curry believes the move was self-serving. The Bad Boy for Life rapper lashed out at Diddy via social media, accusing him of reassigning the rights to the Bad Boy catalog only after their perceived decrease in value.
So many people just kept sending me this post about Puff giving back publishing. Man, that shit hurt. That's like giving back my girlfriend, but you done got 4 kids with her. Took my girl from me 10 years ago, give it back 10 years. I got a 10-year-old son and twins and all of that, and they his. Whoop-de-doo. Whoop-de-doo. Why he didn't just keep that and give everybody $2 million? You know what I'm saying? Why he didn't just keep that and give everybody $1 million? How come he didn't say, "I'm sorry for, what I may have caused in your life, and what I may have taken from you and your family. I know you could have ate with these over the years, but I took it and I was soaking it up." So really, only thing he doing is confessing. Everything that I own belonged to somebody else. But y'all still think he's doing something nice? He's not doing nothing nice. He's just giving back what he never should have had in the first place.
Moving on, let's look at some fixed stars that will also describe Diddy's energy. His planet, the sun, is joined to the star Deneb. The star is said to indicate an authority figure with the capability to make executive decisions. Of course, this must be speaking of his powerful position in the entertainment industry that he's had for a while. Leo rising and his representation by the sun also hint at this. The ascendant, the first house itself, will also describe him. The star Accubans is conjunct the ascendant, describing energy surrounding him. This star is said to bring about disappointments, losses, disputes, and potential exposure to deception. What could that last part mean? I think it could mean this.
I think at this point, it's a scramble. Right now, it's a race. Everybody's scrambling to see how they can get some bread out of the deal. Everybody trying to make sure they get them some bread. I think once they saw Cassie get that bag and it was settled overnight, those who were just interested in the bag immediately contacted lawyers and said, hey. And I do believe that it might be some people in there that just straight up lying, because it's always somebody that'll lie. They don't have any type of integrity, any shame. So they'll lie. If they can just lie to get a bag, they'll do that. Because they do a whole lot of other things to get a bag. So if all they got to do is just tell a lie to get a bag, they're going to lie. So I do believe it's some liars in there and mixed in there. If it's some truth tellers, liars are close by.
Let's look at some of those losses though. In December, Variety reported,
A reality show following the family of Sean Diddy Combs that was in the early stages of development has been scrapped at Hulu, Variety has learned. The news comes following multiple lawsuits against Combs alleging sexual assault. The show, which was being developed with the working title Diddy Plus 7, was being produced by James Corden's production company Fullwell 73.
Cut reported back in November 2023.
Following accusations of sexual assault from 3 different women, multiple organizations are distancing themselves from Sean Diddy Combs. It was announced on Tuesday that Combs would be temporarily stepping down as chairman of Revolt, the media company he founded in 2013. A statement posted to Revolt's Instagram confirmed the news. Capital Prep Harlem, a charter school opened by Combs in 2016, has also announced that it will be parting ways with the rapper. The school released a statement from Dr. Steve Perry, the founder of Capital Preparatory Schools.
His loss of Revolt may be quite the hit, as Forbes report his investment in this company is partly how he obtained his billionaire status, but he is selling off shares, so maybe that's not the worst hit. However, you really don't want to have to sell off your shares, unless you have to, because they're just going to increase in value. This other development might not be a major hit, but may be a hit to the pride. He has even been booted from appearing on and Off Again Girlfriend, Young Miami's upcoming reality show, hosted on BET, which normally appears to be a network that supports Diddy. Now, what about the darker side of his energy? Everyone has a dark side, and we will see this by looking at the 12th house in the chart, the house of the evil spirit they call it in ancient Greek astrology, where people self-sabotage, causing suffering to themselves and potentially others, or experiencing it. Everyone has a 12th house vice, a house of downfall. This house will also describe the reason a person ends up in prison, should they be imprisoned. Lastly, this house will also describe spiritual progression or regression related to these things. In this chart, Cancer is over this house. Cancer over the 12th house says mismanagement of emotions will cause trouble to himself and possibly others, and suggestions of psychological issues or unhappiness related to the mother. Speaking of uncontrolled emotions, it's said they are how he got his original name, Puffy. People say he got his street name Puffy because of his foul moods. Angry, annoyed, always huffing and puffing. The moon, ruler of Cancer, will tell us more. It is conjunct the fixed star Vega, and Vega is relevantly illuminated. This star speaks of wealth, good fortune, and artistic talents. This star will have a negative twist, however, because of its connection to the 12th house, and would suggest an abuse or misuse of these gifts. Vega also relates to vanity and pretentiousness, so arrogance and an excess of these things is likely another way he self-sabotages. Cancer over the 12th house and the moon's conjunction gives all these things Vega describes a dysfunctional emotional undercurrent. Essentially, Vega will also speak of his dysfunction. The moon is in a trine aspect to Uranus in this chart. This says possible fame or awareness of the masses of his shortcomings, and indeed this is true. He has an extreme amount of attention on him as of late, mostly disparaging. There appear to be a lot of videos covering not just his lawsuit with Cassie, but slews of other rumors and testimonies by public figures about his true nature, according to them, from accusations of bisexuality to as far as rumors of involvement in the demises of Michael Jackson and Aaliyah. This onslaught of damaging gossip is evidenced by the South Node, a marker of damage, falling in Diddy's third house, this house representing social media and talk surrounding him. We'll explore some of this talk in the following chapters. The ill fortune described surrounding Diddy is that much more augmented with the South Node joined to 2 Greek lots, which show themes at play: occupation, severity, and destruction, and the lot, danger, violence, and debt. The talk surrounding him will have heavy implications for Diddy. How has he reacted to this onslaught anyway? As Sun in Capricorn would imply, he's been playing it cool for the most part, not having any public outbursts as far as I can see. But he did post a statement on Instagram, comments turned off.
Enough is enough. For the last couple of weeks, I have sat silently and watched people try to assassinate my character, destroy my reputation and my legacy. Sickening allegations have been made against me by individuals looking for a quick payday. Let me be absolutely clear. I did not do any of the awful things being alleged. I will fight for my name, my family, and for the truth. Sean Diddy Combs.
Let's talk about astrologically his problems with women. Cancer over the 12th house has another meaning for Diddy. Cancer and the moon are related to women. As we know, Diddy is experiencing the most disgrace due to his relationship with the woman, Cassie. Women will generally be a reason he experiences ill fortune, and this may be due to his own missteps concerning them. Women, keeping in mind what I said about the 12th house earlier, may also be the reason he goes to prison, if he does. I haven't covered that yet. Whether he goes to prison, it is a guarantee that emotional suffering he experiences, losses, suffering in general, will be experienced because of women. Now, this is all stuff people can easily conclude watching media about him, of course, but it is interesting to show you how this is shown symbolically and the correlation. Venus, another planet symbolizing women, is joined to a Greek lot. Greek lots describe themes at play, and Venus is conjunct discord. Another strong message from the stars of trouble with women. I was just speaking about the South Node in Diddy's third house. In the sign Libra, this is another confirmation of damage related to relationships with people, especially women, and rumors/talk surrounding them, and that this misfortune would move quickly. I mentioned this briefly earlier, but the moon's significance here shows his attitude towards and problems with women are possibly connected to his mother. There are videos by other creators on YouTube exploring controversial rumors and ideas about this. Long ago, the public had no clue of the tumultuous relationship of Diddy and Cassie. This bizarre article, bizarre indeed, from 2018 talks about them and fans being sad of their breakup back in 2018. Definitely didn't age well. But anyway, how do the stars describe Cassie's energy? The moon, which will describe important past, present, and future events in this chart, is separating from an aspect, a sextile, with Saturn. The moon is in Capricorn. Bringing it back to Cassie, Saturn in this chart I believe is Cassie, as Saturn rules the 7th house of serious relationships, and I believe she is his most recent and serious long-term one. But back to that aspect. This aspect speaks of a past interaction with her that he experienced trouble with. Trouble because of the moon's 12th house connection, and of course, that would be the infamous lawsuit. This aspect could also speak of trouble from him to her in the past. Her, represented by Saturn, is interesting. It usually represents older men. It's a somber planet relating to the seriousness of her situation, showing an inclination to mature and wise thinking at this time, and a suggestion that she had long-term plans concerning this whole situation with Diddy, carefully calculated for the most fortunate resolution. As Saturn, a cold planet, emotionally, she was at a place to do what needed to be done with Diddy, even though we could all presume she had love for him at some point. She will handle the situation in a classy and mature way, mostly keeping to herself about it. Less is more. What was Cassie's response to the recent raid on Diddy? Maturely, classily, wisely, she spoke through her lawyer, who stated, "Hopefully, this is the beginning of a process that will hold Mr. Combs responsible for his depraved conduct." If a person is very beautiful and it's integral to their identity, I do believe it will be shown in a chart. Saturn, Cassie's planet, is in Pisces, and Pisces is related to great beauty, so we have potentially a beautiful, serious woman described, and I think we can agree that this is true. The beauty of Saturn in Pisces is cold, icy waters. She is pretty, but she also looks sad. Saturn rules the 12th from the 7th house in this chart. This means it embodies and indicates troubles in relationships, and thus, the coldness of her beauty comes from what she experienced with Diddy, as you might expect. Pisces is related to Venus in a very positive way, and Venus is related to women. Pisces shows here, I think, a great compassion to other women and believe they should be treated well. I believe this is true about Cassie, and she isn't just looking out for herself. There are 2 fixed stars joined to Saturn, which will describe her energy and energy surrounding her further. The first is Fomolo, one of my favorites, a really good star associated with good fortune and fame. This star is powerful and shows energy of empowerment and good fortune in the situation. The second, however, Sadal Malik, speaks of the more negative energy surrounding her. This star is associated with lawyers and complicated lawsuits, and is said, more ominously, to sometimes warn of a sudden misfortune. Hopefully that last part isn't the case here, and if so, cancelled out by Fomolo. Or another consideration, and probably the most likely, this star is showing her bringing sudden misfortune to Diddy. This chart was made about Diddy, so I think this is the case. Cassie's planet Saturn is at the 8th house cusp, moving into this house. This is her money house, and shows her coming into money, what we know to be true, and also focused on it. What we might not know to be true. Pisces is on this house. Pisces, a sign of Jupiter, represents potentially great wealth, especially as Jupiter is in the 10th house in this chart, in Taurus. This is a great material wealth which manifests in the sum of $30 million. While I see her genuinely caring for other women in general, she is definitely about her money. There are other signs of the exchange of money. Diddy's money is Mercury, and Cassie's money is Jupiter. Mercury trine Jupiter, especially with Mercury in Sag, is a guarantee of money going from Diddy to her, and Mercury sextile Saturn speaks of financial opportunity as well. Mars, who represents the lawsuit and Diddy's lawyers in this chart, is also trine Jupiter, showing how they would yield to giving Cassie money. This chart is very accurate. I'll be talking about his lawyers and legal situation more in later parts. Cassie's Power, Chapter 4. As you may conclude, Diddy is at the will of Cassie, and do the stars show this? Yes, of course the stars would show a powerful thing like this, and I'll explain how if you're curious. Diddy's planet, the Sun, is in Capricorn. Capricorn belongs to Cassie's planet, Saturn. This placement means Saturn has rulership over the Sun, which means down below for Diddy. He is at her whim now heavily. Things are likely to unfold concerning him in her favor and direction. As you can imagine, this is proving to be increasingly unfortunate as the days go on, just as Jupiter ruling the 8th house of loss in this chart promises. Cassie stated after the lawsuit was settled, "I have decided to resolve this matter amicably on terms that I have some level of control," end quote. I think she's playing down the power over Diddy she has right now. She has a lot of control and influence on his plight. As Saturn, it's very unlikely that she is naive about this with no clue. Lastly, about Cassie, we'll look at her 12th house, which describes life's troubles and suffering, amongst other things. Diddy's planet, the Sun, is here in Capricorn, very uncanny, and seems to confirm him as a major source of unhappiness in life, something that had been going on for a long time. More ominously and uncanny yet, Pluto is here, doing badly, meaning it will likely show very bad things, with it being at a critical degree at 29 degrees. The Sun, separating from a trine to Uranus, also shows how the masses have been alerted to Cassie's alarming troubles with Diddy. Whatever happened between them, Pluto changing signs in this chart hopefully states that this phase of her suffering is over. Still with me? Told you it was gonna be a long one. The stars do correlate and show more messages about Diddy's downfall. Remember the South Node from earlier, that strange looking thing? When people are having a difficult time, I always look at what is going on with this point, as it shows why and where the damage is coming from, partly. Since the South Node is in Libra, Libra and Venus will describe his downfall further. As you may know, Venus represents women, so again, a message of folly regarding women is shown. Libra represents all manner of relationships, from an accuser to a lover to a business partner and legal matters. This is all true that he's experiencing a lot of damage in these areas of life, but there's more. Venus is in the 5th house. This house represents for Diddy, his partying, sexual adventures, and his experience and influence in the music industry. The damaging talk the South Node spoke of in the 3rd house is clearly about these things. Diddy's Freakoffs. A running joke on social media about Diddy is, "You gotta say no," started, I believe, by comedian Cat Williams. This is a reference to the rumors that Diddy parties too hard and pressures men who are often straight into partying with him on a much more personal level.
I've had to turn down $50 million 4 times. 4 times. Just to protect my integrity and that virgin hole I was telling you about. Right. Because P. Diddy be wanting to party. And you gotta tell him no. You got to tell him no. I did. I did. See, I got the receipts for everything I'm teling you. That's why I can say them so freely.
Kid, I need to know. You here, get your number.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Come on. Because early on you was accusing me of being...
This YouTuber speaks of a less humorous situation possibly shown in this chart, as Venus shows scandal related to music. This YouTuber says it succinctly. Props to Screen Queens for saving me some time. A little work.
On February 27, 2024, he got hit with another lawsuit from Lil Rod, his former producer. Lil Rod worked with Diddy on his latest project, the Love album Off the Grid. Allegedly, Lil Rod experienced many highly disturbing things when he was working with Diddy between September 2022 and November 2023. Allegedly, Diddy tried to force Lil Rod into Freakoffs by promising him a successful career and the Producer of the Year award at the next Grammys. He said there were times when he would sleep off at Diddy's house and wake up beside escorts with no recollection of what happened the previous night because his drink had been spiked the previous night.
Partying gone way too far. Something a damaging Venus in Sagittarius would show. Venus in Sagittarius, badly aligned, is going too far for selfish reasons, pleasures, especially romantic, greed. The Sagittarius also says that this damaging talk about Diddy would be abundant, and indeed, there appear to be many exposed videos about Diddy, from mainstream sources to smaller YouTubers like myself, months still after this chart made in January, as more accusers come forward, testimonies, new gossip, and unearthed stories from the 90s. Gene Deal, Diddy's ex-bodyguard, has probably contributed millions of views exposing Diddy, and he bluntly states the unscrupulous things Diddy is accused of matter-of-factly, and talks about rumors about Diddy from the 90s and what happened in those infamous parties. Some people don't believe him, but the majority appear to, and that's not good for Diddy. He's not the only one talking. So many figures and other rappers are calling Diddy out, ex-employees, former artists, the like. Finally, Mars in Capricorn in the 5th house speaks of strong sexual male energy and partying. Make of that what you will. There's other things Diddy is accused of in correlating messages, but I'm unable to comment on those things further. That's it for now. In part 2, I'll discuss more about Diddy and whether he's actually getting incarcerated, his lawyers, and his relationship with the law. Thanks for watching.